Got it.
We're going to do it. Not we're going to try and move to New Zealand. Not we might move to New Zealand.
Yep.
We are going to move to New Zealand. That's what we said to each other.
Yep.
Come hell or high water. And it was tough. It was so tough. We did it, all the paperwork ourselves. You know, you might know the story of Brian coming over here and taking a huge pay cut.
Yeah.
You know, getting inside septic tanks and cleaning out poo and all the rest of it. And we sold our house, I think a month before we were due to come out. We'd sold our house. And a month before we were about to leave, the person pulled out. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I don't want to buy it anymore. And in England, they can do that. You know, it's not like in New Zealand.
Yeah, you're tied into that contract.
It was so stressful. And it could have been so easy then just to say, oh, do you know what? Forget it. No, we'll just stay. It's obviously not meant to be. Mm-hmm. But we didn't. We pushed on and we said, we're doing it. We are going to do it. Yeah. And we did.
Got it.
Welcome to the NZ Ahead podcast. Everything you need to know about moving to and living in New Zealand.
There's a whole world here.
So nice to be with you again.
We call it Aotearoa around here, bro.
You'll be right.
We are your hosts, Liz and Brian.
Amazing New Zealand in the southern seas.
See, that's where I belong. That's home.
Hello and welcome to the NZ Ahead podcast. I'm Liz.
And I'm Brian.
And we're back this year in a new year to share some very wise wisdom words with you. All about new beginnings.
Yep.
Is this going to be your year? Is this going to be the year that you make your dreams come true? You make your dream happen? Yeah, we just wanted to talk to you about new beginnings and why we think they're important.
Yeah, because that's what it's all about. You know, we start these new years and we have all these good intentions. And is this going to be the year that you're going to do it? Well, the only person stopping it happening is you. Mm. Yeah, really, isn't it?
Well, sometimes there are different situations that come about that.
Yeah, I understand that, but we tend to put things in the way of things. And I know, yes, with the year that we just had, yes, you can't foresee that. But if you're planning on wanting to do something, and I've said this umpteen times before, when is the time, or when is there ever going to be a right time to do it?
Yes. And that's why we're here. It's a bit of a different show this year. We're starting off with a bit of a different show for you. It's more of a personal show because, as you know, in 2009, well, I'm saying as you know, you might not know, but in 2009, Brian and I emigrated from England to New Zealand with our children. They were 5 and 8 at the time. We left all Brian's family behind. I left my brother behind. At the time, I left my mum behind. You know, she did come and join us later on, but I didn't know that when we were moving. And it was one of those things that we'd always wanted to emigrate, hadn't we?
Yes.
And again, it was, are you going to do it or are you not going to do it? And I suppose what we were here today to share with you is just a reflection on whether or not we're glad that we made that move to New Zealand. I mean, obviously we are, but at the time you don't know that. You don't know that this huge move is going to make your life different and better. And I think we just wanted to talk to you about when you really want to do something, like when it's burning in your heart, as it was for us, to move to New Zealand, you've just got to do it.
It is.
Really
and that's the big thing. Hey, whether it's New Zealand or not New Zealand, we're not saying that it has to be New Zealand, or is that you are listening to this podcast because you're generally interested in moving to the likes of New Zealand. But rewind to 2009, or 2008, let's go, and we had our immigration papers into Canada. That's where we were going. And we were just happy. That was it. Once that comes in, and it was at least 18 months before they got back to you with your expression of interest or whatever it was to say that, hey, we're going to Canada. We'd spent our, I don't know at the time, $1,200 each or something to get our paperwork in. Knowing full well with the Canadian High Commission, they wouldn't give it you back. And then out of the blue, you went to New Zealand to see your sister because your mum wanted to go and see her daughter. And then you called me from New Zealand and said, hey, Bri, we need to sell the business, need to sell the house, and let's get ourselves over here to New Zealand and not go to Canada because this is the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was it, wasn't it? That was the trigger to go, right, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's stop talking about it. Let's stop waiting for this to happen, and let's see if we can make this particular thing happen. And that's what it's about. It's about driving forward instead. Let's just give it another year. You know, when we were back in the UK, we were talking to one of our family members we hadn't seen for a long time, and she wanted to go now and try and move to New Zealand. Yet a partner turned around and said, "No, I want to wait another year, get some more money together." And it's like, we don't need that other money, she was saying. Let's just go now. And that's the thing, isn't it? You know, one of you has the idea that they don't want to go because we just need to get more backing. We need to get more this. We need to have more, I don't know, what is it? You just more time that you're stalling to do it. And it just, when you see it, it sticks out like a sore thumb is what I'm saying. It's just like, come on, there it is. That's, you know, most people are, I'll just wait till I get to that, or I'll just get the kids through this part of the school, and it's just like, it's like a form of procrastination to stop the fact that you're actually going to do this thing one day.
Yeah.
What difference if it makes if you go now or you go next year?
It's a fear thing. It's a fear thing that you're doing it at the wrong time.
Yes.
And if you wait a year, it will be better. Or if you have that much money, it will be better. Or if the kids are that age, it will be better. And you know what? It might be. It might. If that's what you think and that's what you believe, then that's fine. But what we're saying is, everything that we've done, you know, we moved to New Zealand. We decided, like Bryce said, I came over here, and it was, we're going to do it. Not we're going to try and move to New Zealand. Not we might move to New Zealand.
Yep.
We are going to move to New Zealand. That's what we said to each other.
Yep.
Come hell or high water. And it was tough. It was so tough. We did it, all the paperwork ourselves. You know, you might know the story of Brian coming over here and taking a huge pay cut.
Yeah.
You know, getting inside septic tanks and cleaning out poo and all the rest of it. And we sold our house, I think a month before we were due to come out. We'd sold our house, and a month before we were about to leave, the person pulled out. And she's like, I don't want to buy it anymore. And in England, they can do that. You know, it's not like in New Zealand.
Yeah, you're tied into that contract.
It was so stressful. And it could have been so easy then just to say, oh, do you know what? Forget it. No, we'll just stay. It's obviously not meant to be. But we didn't. We pushed on and we said, we're doing it. We are going to do it.
Yeah.
And we did. And we are so glad that we did, because imagine if we hadn't have done it now.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, Liz, is like, this is why we wanted to do this at this time of the year, because it's New Year. It's the new year. It's the start of a new year. And are you still in the same position as what you were last year? You might have said, oh, should we think about moving? You might have been doing it for 2 years thinking, and if you're still in the same position as what you were 2 years ago, then you haven't moved forward on your plans, have you?
No.
Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And we're guilty of it. Most people are. It's because you have just put your nose to the grindstone and you have not looked up again until New Year comes and you go, oh shit, we're still in the same boat really, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're still in the same house, we're still in the same position. We didn't achieve what we wanted to do this year. And I know things happen. We can prove that for the last year that we've just done. But this is what we wanted to make this podcast about, was about you making the choice to move forward, to take the bull by the horns, as they call it, and do something.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that's what we were saying, you know, we did it, and we did it in 6 months. It was like, yeah, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. So when are you going to press the trigger? You know, when you're going to really pull the pin or whatever they call it, you know?
And I think also it's important to remember that, because I was just thinking then when you were talking, and I think this is equally important. Say if you're thinking of moving to New Zealand or whatever it is you're thinking of doing, and there is something stopping you. Say, for example, your trade or your job isn't on the green list, okay? They're thinking of maybe bringing it in, but at the moment, it's not on the green list. So unless you've got a hell of a lot of money, then you can't make that happen. But here's the thing. Change your mindset to whatever it is you're working on at the moment just focus on that. Make that happen. So, for example, it might be, okay, well, we're going to get the house ready to sell. Make that your priority. Make that your focus. Don't be wishy-washy. Don't be still in one camp while you're trying to be in the other camp. Make sure, and I hope this is going to make sense, but make sure that wherever your focus is where it should be right now. So going back to me and Brian, we were ready. We were determined to move to New Zealand. We made everything happen. But sometimes in life, like you said, things aren't as easy as that. The doors don't just open and go, come on in.
Mm-hmm.
I think what I'm trying to say is just remain focused and remain determined and remain positive that you are going to get to that next step. And while you're in the step that you're in, stay focused in that. Don't be constantly looking, oh, well, I wish we could do that, or I wish our life was like that. No, just concentrate on this that you're in right now, and then move to the next step and make that happen right now. Yeah. And that's just a bit of encouragement if you're not in a position. Because when you said earlier, oh, everyone can do it, it's just like, no, they can't always. They can have the mindset to do it. Yeah. And that's the important thing, isn't it? Is just that mindset to think, I am going to make this happen.
Yeah. I think if it's a case that, oh, I'm not in that position, but I want to go, it's just like, okay, that's what we're trying to talk about, isn't it? It's like, yes, we know not everyone's going to be in that mindset, but they're not the people that we're really concentrating on, because the people that are genuinely thinking about it, are you going to keep thinking about it for the rest of your life, or are you going to do it? You know, I know pipe dreams and things like that, but if I look at it sometimes, it's a bit like when you've booked a flight to go somewhere. Nothing really comes in the way of that flight, does it? You know?
No.
Because you're going on that flight, and
true.
You will arrive at the airport at the right time, and you get on that flight. Occasionally, very, very rarely, you will miss that flight. Mm. So why don't you look at it in the same way? It's funny how where you put your priorities, isn't it? Like, you know, it's just, oh, well, what about me mates? What about this? And oh, what about me mum, me dad? They're not. And it's just like, well, ifs and ands and buts, you wouldn't do anything, would you? And that's the hardest part. But you've got to be strong, and you've got to go, right, let's do this.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, come back and you've lost some money, and then go back to work.
Yeah, yeah.
You
and
know?
It doesn't matter because you've tried it, haven't you?
At least you tried it.
Yeah. And we just wanted to show you, you're getting a real off the cuff podcast episode here, because this is, we haven't planned anything. We haven't, as you can see, we haven't written anything down. We're just having a chat with you.
Yeah, we were just on the beach, weren't we? And we were just talking about it. Oh, the new year's coming up. You know, it's been a funny year for us, this, that, and the other. And it's just like, do you know what? People need a bit of inspiration sometimes, just to go, stuff it. Yeah, let's do it.
Yes.
Let's give it a bloody good go, eh?
Yeah.
And let's see where we are in 6 months, not where we are in 18 months.
You know, the other thing that we wanted to say to you about, just to give you another example of making something happen, that, again, I'm going back to that. This is because I am so guilty of doing this, Brian.
Well, we all are. That's human nature.
Yeah, it
to
is.
Procrastinate.
I know. And also to be fearful of thinking, oh, but what if it doesn't work out? But what if I lose this? Or what if
I'm on the streets?
What if I'm really missing them? And what if I'm on the streets? And another example I want to share with you, and I don't talk about this often, is homeschooling my kids, or our children. We came to New Zealand. It's something I always wanted to do. I'm writing a book, actually, a memoir at the moment, and it's all about my 15 years in New Zealand and how that 15 years was. And in that book, I talk about this. So look out for that book. Just a little plug there. But yeah, it was something, homeschooling is something I dreamed of doing way before I moved to New Zealand. I think it was about 2 years. I think Sonny was about 4 when I first started thinking, I'd love to homeschool.
Yeah. Super untrendy at the time.
Well, it wasn't feasible. We couldn't afford it. We could not afford, with the mortgage that we had, to go down to one income. And we moved to New Zealand, and all of a sudden we could afford to go down to one income. You know, we didn't have as big a mortgage. But anyway, I won't go into all the ins and outs of our financials, but we could afford to go down to one wage. And still I thought, oh yeah, but what if I do it and then they turn out like, you know, they don't get a good education, and what if they don't have any friends, and what if I do, maybe I'll do it next year, and I'll just wait till Sonny's finished that then, and I'll just wait till Tessa's learnt to swim, and I'll just learn. And it was one of those decisions that we're talking about, like you've just said earlier.
Yeah.
Just do it. Just do it. And I did it. And it was the best thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
Personally, it's the best thing. And I think the kids would agree with you. I wish they were here to tell you that. But as a family, we agree that that time was the best 10 years I could ever imagine spending with them. Now, that's not to say, oh, everyone should go and homeschool. What that is to say is if you really want to do something and you're determined to make it happen, then just do it.
You know, no one else is going to do it for you.
No.
You know, something magical is going to happen unless you do it. And that's what we're saying about pulling the pin. It's like, right, here we go. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, you might get halfway through it 3 months down the line and think, I don't really want to do this. That's not too late, is it? You can, you know, unless you've sold the house. But if you've sold the house, great.
Well,
You're off to New Zealand then, aren't you?
Exactly. Yeah.
Off on your new adventure.
Exactly. And another little tip that I just want to share with you, because I do we make big changes, and I personally I'm very brave at making big changes. Like, you know, things that scare the hell out of me sometimes, I just make myself do them. Mm-hmm. And a little tip that I always use, if you're listening to this and thinking, yeah, but how do you just decide, is future visualization. And I know that sounds a little bit woo and maybe a little bit out there. But if you spend some time reflecting, either journaling or concentrating or meditating, whatever you want to call it, thinking about it, and think into the future about how you want your life to look, how you want to be in 6 months' time or a year's time. What does that look like? Yeah. Does it look like you and your family are living in New Zealand? Does it look like you and your family are homeschooling, or you and your family have, you know, you've started a new job, or you've got started an online business, or whatever it may be? Mm-hmm. I always use that technique, and it always helps and works. It's like magic. And you keep it in your mind. You do not let it go. You keep playing it over in your mind. Call it what you want. Call it manifestation. Call it visualization. It works. Yeah. You see where you want to be, what your life looks like, and then you go and make it happen. Yeah. It might not be easy, you know, but you're doing it. You want to be there, and that's where you're going to go. And it's
not going to happen without you doing. You can manifest all you want, but you've got to put it into action, what you're manifesting.
Yes.
You know, it just doesn't like, oh, look, I'm thinking this, I'm going to be in New Zealand. If you don't know anything about it, you're not going to be in New Zealand.
No.
In your mind you are, but that's it, you're not. So,
and that goes back to what we were just saying earlier, is if you want to be in New Zealand and you're not on the skilled list at the moment, okay, let's take some steps to, we'll be in New Zealand in 5 years. We'll make it in 3 years.
Yeah, that's if you want to retrain or whatever it is to do something different.
That's what I'm saying, Brian, but you can.
Yes.
You can.
But the people who are genuinely listening to this podcast are normally that they've got a rough idea, or get a free assessment. Head on over and email Charlotte at NZ Shores.
Yes.
That's it, Charlotte at nzshores.com, and ask for a free assessment of, are my skills on the skilled migrant list?
Yes.
To move to New Zealand.
Yeah.
And she'll tell you, oh, yeah, but you could try this, or you just got to do this, and give her an email. Send it on out there. But can I just give you a little story?
Oh, I like
about
stories. Go
how
on.
brave someone was in our community.
Yes, go on.
And I'm not going to mention the name of who it was, but he moved over here with his 2 children and his partner, and was living in Auckland. Came over as a skilled migrant, but did not have a job. And he'd been over here for probably 3 months, and, you know, supported himself, trying to, you know, he'd been done 50 interviews and things like that, could not get a job. And I think it was in IT. And he direct messaged me on our community and said, because I think I'd seen that he'd said on the community that he'd been for 50 interviews, and I just said, how's the job hunting going? Like, you know, and he said, I'm so glad you've asked me, because I'm really starting to struggle. And this is someone who's from America, sold everything and moved over. And he said, but there is a job offer in Dunedin. He said, but I don't really want to live in Dunedin. And I just said, well, what have you got to lose? You know, it's like, if you don't try it, you're never going to know what it's like. And I said, so why don't you go and do that job. And even if it's in 6 months, you then leave that job for another job and you move back to Auckland. I said, it's a road trip all the way down there and back again. And he said, well, I'll have to think about it. And then a week later, he said, I'm going down for the interview. I'm going to go and see what Dunedin's like. It was actually in Invercargill. It wasn't Dunedin. I said, you're not a million miles away from... I said, it's about an hour or so's drive to Dunedin. There's a whole bunch of community members in Dunedin. Not so many in Invercargill. I said, but at least you can go and you have someone to go and see at the weekends or just be friends with and things like that. You know, and he went down there and he's moving down there.
Aww.
You know? And he said, I really love it down there. It's absolutely brilliant. We didn't think we were going to love it, but we said we love the South Island. And you just think, there you go.
Yeah.
What a balls out story to do something like that, you know?
Yes.
Move to the other side of the world. And, you know, just by me just saying one thing, just give it a go. What have you got to lose? You know? It's like, yeah, you might not be living where you wanted to live in Auckland, but you're going to be still living in New Zealand. And the longer you stay here, the more confident you get, the more job offers that you then start to see, and you can then start picking the jobs. You've got some work experience over here. It's no different than me climbing in a septic tank and drilling it, decommissioning a septic tank, drill the bottom out and fill it full of sand. Job done. And that's you know, I was a heating engineer. I didn't want to be doing plumbery things, but that's the skilled migrant that I came over as. And it's like, well, do you know what? I'm going to be a plumber in New Zealand for a bit. And that's what you've got to do sometimes. You know, you've just got to stop thinking that there is going to be a man turning up at the door and taking you away because you haven't paid your bills. Because you won't let that happen. If you haven't let it happen already, why all of a sudden do you think it's going to happen? It's about being positive and moving forward, isn't it? Like, you know, and I just thought, well, that story just really warmed to me to know that he had the guts to go and do it. You know, and we've all got it in us. If you want to move to New Zealand, you've got to have a bit of pioneer in you, you know, and that's why you're thinking of moving to this place. That it's a great place to bring your kids up. It really is, like, you know, it really is.
So on that story, great story and very inspirational as well. And remember, if you're not part of our community and you want to become part of that community, you can take our free 5-day video guide. And on day 5, you'll be given details of how to join. Why don't you just set out this year and just think, I am going to make it happen. Not I'm going to try, not I might, not maybe. I'm going to make it happen. And just do that. And the first step you can do is by surrounding yourself by people who are doing the same as you. Like Bri just said, these people, they're they've got the same dream. They're
all like family to us.
adventurous.
Really
they're just wonderful. So yeah, have a look at that community and see if that is something you think would help you take that next step. You can find us those free 5-day video guides of life in New Zealand. They're absolutely free. Like I say, get to day 5 and we'll give you details of how you can join the community. But you can find those free videos by going to...
I'm going to do it 2 ways. So I'm going to do the American way, nzahead.com/free. So that's www.nzahead.com/free. Doesn't sound right, does it?
It doesn't.
And then you've got www.nzahead.com/free.
And this is nothing against the Americans, you understand.
Do you know
when we named our website, it was because it rhymed with ahead.
I know,
Brian.
NZ ahead, but you've got
ahead.
Zealand. Ta-da.
What?
It's like, so there's the Z coming out in the Z.
Brian, don't
It's
be
not
telling Americans that it's
Zland.
NZ because they're going to be tripping up when they get here, aren't they? It isn't. It's NZ.
That's the beauty
Kiwis
of
say
it.
NZ.
Yeah, it's very Americanized in New Zealand for the vocabulary. So
But
they say
NZ.
vitamins, not vitamins.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you'll love it over here.
A big, big love to you if you're listening to this and you're making 2025 the year that your dream comes true. We're right behind you. You can do it. You can really make this happen. Remember what I said to you. Visualize how you want your life to look and then go and take the steps to make it happen. It really is that simple. And we're right behind you. We're going to be here with our podcasts. We've got our community if you want to join that. But all that to say, make this the year that you dream it's going to be And I look forward to the end of the year when you private message me, not Brian.
Email me or DM me on the community.
Yeah, and just say you were right and I did it and we made it happen. So come on, let's make that happen this year.
Yeah, and that's what we want this podcast to make you get up and do it.
Yes.
Not go the other way of like, oh, shut up, I can't do it. It's like, no, come on, give it a bloody good go.
You can. You can do it.
Don't do it this time next year and you're in the same position.
Yes.
You know, you haven't moved forward an inch. You know, if this time next year and you're ready to go, then brilliant, you did it.
Yes.
You know?
You're doing it. We've got faith in you. We know you can do it. And we know that you're going to email us or message us or get with us on Slack and just say, listen, Brian, we did it. All because we listened to your podcast at the beginning of the year. So until then, have a wonderful, wonderful week and a wonderful, wonderful year. Go and make your dream happen.
Yeah.
I will speak to you soon. And until next time, I will speak to you soon.
Yeah, that's it. I'm going to check in on you in 3 months and just say, hey, remember that one in January that we did? Have you moved any closer?
Yeah.
Have you got booked some flights, or are you just on a recce to come and see what it's like down here? Then just go ahead and do it, hey? Life's for living, and don't wait. Do it now.
Yeah.
One life and everything. So that's it. We only get one crack at this, so make sure it's a good one. So don't forget, kia kaha, stay strong, kia u, stay true. And let's speak to you on the next one. That little bit closer.
Speak to you soon.
See you now.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast this week. We have loved having you here with us.
If you love this week's show, please share this with your friends. Send it to anybody you know that wants to think about moving to New Zealand, and get on over here yourself.
And tell them how brilliant it is as well. And also, if you haven't signed up for our free 5-day video guide showing you what life is really like in New Zealand, then go over to the website and sign up. You are missing out. This is brilliant. Go over to www.nzahead.com/free and we will send you 5 days worth of videos about what life is like in New Zealand. You are going to love it. So one more time, that website that you need to sign up for the free 5-day guide is www.nzahead.com/free. So we're going to see you next week. Until then, have a great week and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Say bye, girl. Bye.
Bye.